Have you always lived in this part of the forest?
Mis paisanos no vivíamos aquí. Totalmente vinieron los caucheros, nos han explotado, igual se han depredado el bosque, se lo han llevado todo. Ha pasado cuando se fueron dejaron todo totalmente depredado el bosque. Pasaron unos años, creció el bosque otra vez y ahora somos los protectores del bosque.
And are you ever afraid for this forest? The Amazon is like a paradise that can kill you. A thick jungle with an act for keeping secrets. Deadly snakes, insects, and big cats. Even people, entire cultures, all hidden amongst 30 shades of green. After learning more about the true Hawaii that we call home, and what it really means to be in aloha with your surroundings, we wanted to make our way into the unfamiliar. And this place was unfamiliar to say the least. This is another world entirely. This rainforest spans across 9 different countries. We started in the Peruvian Andes, worked our way down into the Amazon, and traveled as far north as Ecuador. Towns were far and few between. We stopped and collected gear where we could.
Rubber boots, machetes, plastics to cover up all of our gear, rice, eggs, a lot of other little things.
Things changed quickly, from snow-capped mountains and frigid temperatures to constant rain and lush jungle. And once we reached the basin, we started making our way up rivers. Lots and lots and lots of rivers. I've dreamt of those who call the Amazon home my entire life. I imagined a people that move like shadows, clouded in mystery, rich with wisdom, draped in cloth and feather and paint. They were all of this and more, but not at first glance. We met with many different tribes, this far away from civilization, and yet they wear regular clothes. They laugh loud and they smiled with their entire face.
I woke up and now we're shooting blow dart time.
They seemed normal, but as the days turned into weeks, it became clear that the forest was keeping secrets again, hiding its people's complexity. Our first lesson came from the children. They were so competent, so respected in the community. They were kids, but they knew how to live with the forest, and more importantly, how not to die in it. If a child was regarded as more of an adult than I was, I could only imagine the wisdom of the elders.
See. Damn, it's impressive they make that.
This is Moi, of the Waorani people, but we call them Mo'i, which means chief. Since he gave us Waorani names, we gave him a Hawaiian one. It was fitting, but he was definitely more of a retired chief than anything. He spent most of his time strolling around the village making people smile, and the rest of it assuring us that he had a few screws loose. But nevertheless, he loved his people. He had a kind heart, and he shared the ways of the Waorani with great pride.
Esta palma es ompa, nampa, y solamente esa palma para hacer flecha.
Indigenous people are our last link to forgotten lessons, and can be our teachers if we listen. Everything they do is guided by knowledge and wisdom. They move through the forest with clear direction, reading the subtle shades of green like a map. They cut down just this tree because it's good for making rafts. They leave that animal alive because the jaguar needs to eat too. They pick that leaf because it's good medicine. No action is taken without a reason, and no reason is greater than the health of the forest. They understand that they are pieces of the whole, another fish in the river, another leaf on the tree. They respect and care for the forest because they are the forest. Its health is their health. Its death will be their death. A simple truth the modern world seems to have forgotten. The Amazon feels like an entirely different planet. But Mo'i soon reminded me that unfortunately for the people who live here, it's not.
Petróleo, entonces petróleo único es problema grande. Preocupaba hace 30 años. Entonces yo preocupé una comunidad de mi abuelo, mi papá, bravo, valiente, lucha.
Since Mo'i's tribe was contacted 60 years ago, oil companies have become an increasing threat. He says that if it wasn't for them fighting, this forest would no longer exist.
El bosque tropical es lindo para nosotros, a vivir como selva. Entonces no vamos a dejar, o sea, futuras generaciones no vamos a dejar así bosque primario, así agua, vamos a quedar limpios, sin contaminación. A veces tenemos problemas de contaminación, ciudades, viene carretera, petróleo, extraño. Eso los jóvenes dijimos no, porque antes los abuelos iban lanza, pero ahora jóvenes están pensando para proteger todos los selva amazónica hasta último, pero hay como colegio, universidades, pero hay mucho más, vamos a tener fuerza, ya no lanza.
Ahorita nuestros jóvenes que están formando, nuestra defensa es la inteligencia, la capacidad.
Hablar con el gobierno nacional, hablar el mundo para que respeta y nosotros queremos vivir aquí libremente, pero somos dueños.
At times, Mo'i spoke with pain in his voice, of powerful armies and spears against machine guns. But these new warriors brought hope to his tone. He spoke of an upcoming battle in the courts and said we could join them, but we must move quick, like a bird. We met up with Waorani leaders, NGOs, and activists. We learned that since oil companies came in, 3/4 of the Waorani's 500 million acre territory has been polluted, all to satisfy our needs as consumers. People are getting cancer from the water they used to drink. Animals are disappearing. And an entire forest that our world relies on for oxygen is at risk. But there are those who fight. They fight for their land, for their people, and ironically, for us. People like Nemonte Nenquimo, a woman warrior, a protector, and a president of all Waorani communities.
Nuestros abuelos, nuestros antepasados, por años, por siglos, defendían y vivían ahí, y ellos son dueños de esa tierra y territorio. Y hasta ahora, como jóvenes, estamos protegiendo porque es única parte, nos queda todavía selva virgen.
We found ourselves marching side by side with these warriors to what could very well be the Waorani people's last stand. A fight for what oil companies are calling Block 22. But the Waorani know it is their last uncontaminated headwaters. If they lose this battle in the courts, the remainder of their land will be poisoned. Their forest and their way of life will be lost forever.
Un solo mundo, pero seguimos. Y quiere defender bien, apoya y trabajemos, luchemos juntos. Un solo lanza, nuestro país como cultura waorani. Invito a todo el pueblo y respetamos, y así como tanta preocupación de hermanos de Brasil, hermanos de Perú, hermanos de Canadá, hermanos de África, entonces queremos unir con espíritu, un buen corazón, buen, dijimos, chamanismo, más chamanismo en el mundo para proteger y defender ese espíritu de nosotros, de cultura waorani. Ese lanza es un símbolo, un alma de Waorani, una cultura con ese es hacer respetar. Ese mantiene su casa, protección, no pierde. Entonces sueño, espíritu para que lleve con ese lanza, con fuerza.
If there's only one message I could carry back with me from the Amazon, I would quote our good friend Mo'i: "Only as one world we continue." Our brothers and sisters of the forest remind us that we're not simply living on this planet, but living with it. That we cannot continue to destroy and disrespect our lands, our oceans, our forests, and our people who call these places home. For thousands of years, the indigenous people of the Amazon have stood alone, fighting for their forests, for our planet. But we too are people of the forest. So let us stand with them and be the protectors our world so desperately needs us to be.
The tribe won a landmark case which protects 500,000 acres of rainforest. A second victory for Nemonte and her tribe.
Soon as we got home, we heard the news.
The forest has been burning for 3 weeks.
Luckily, everyone we met was safe. Their lands too. Still, it broke our hearts. But when the world finally cried out for the Amazon, it brought us hope. And I couldn't help but think back to our time on the river.
And are you ever afraid for this forest?
Nosotros somos la gente del bosque. Mientras nosotros existamos con el bosque también con nosotros. Mientras nos mantengamos unidos, nuestro bosque va a estar ahí con nosotros.